Hello and welcome to the Entrepreneurial Journey Podcast. Today I have Karen Somerville with me. Hello, Karen. How are you?
Hi, I'm very well, thank you.
Good stuff. Right, let me get to full screen. I am interviewing you because you run a company, you're MD of a company called Angels Share Glass. All right. Okay. Just tell everybody what that is exactly, because I know and it's lovely, but explain to everybody what that is.
Okay, so Angels Share Glass, we are specialist glass manufacturers based in Bridge of Allan in Stirling, and we are nearly our 9th year, so nearly 10, and we are based in Bridge of Allan. We are a family business of 8 staff, and we manufacture beautiful whisky glassware, predominantly for the drinks and spirits industry. But retail and wholesale as well. So we have 5 glass blowers who we use, and we have 2 in-house. So we have our own glass blowers here, and we also subcontract out to other Scottish glass blowers. So all our glass is made in Scotland.
Amazing. So, wonderful. Now, was it your dad that was the glass blower originally?
Yes.
Right.
So yeah, so my dad and I, so how the business really started was a bit ironic, was we were watching a film called The Angels Share.
I've seen it, it's brilliant.
Yeah, so we were sat watching it, and while we were watching it, we said, you know, we're in and out of distilleries all the time, because my dad at that time made distilling glassware, so scientific and laboratory glassware. So he said, you know, no one's ever... everyone talks about the Angel Share, but no one's ever really seen it. So he said, why don't we make an angel, we'll fill it with whiskey, we'll seal it so no one can have it. And then we will, we'll just see what happens. And we had no idea. We really honestly thought I was going to take these with my kids, who at that time were like 5 and 8,
right,
go to craft fairs or Christmas markets and just see what, you know. So we had no idea what we kind of created, but yeah, so it snowballed into something quite special. And then from there, we developed a whole range. So my dad was, you know, completely integral to having the whole thing developed. The idea was that I wanted to create a little icon for the Angel Share, so that a bit like the Loch Ness Monster, no one's really ever seen it, but they wanted a, you know, if you want a representation of it, then that's what we kind of hoped we'd do. And I love whiskey, so I kind of knew more about the whiskey liquid side of things than my dad did. So it kind of married itself together quite well, but we had no idea where it was going to take us. So yeah, we just jumped in, and that was the start of it.
I love the fact that you just thought you were just going to make little angels, sell them at craft fairs, and that was it. Because I've been following your progress for a while, and I've noticed you've won awards, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the reason I was prompted to contact you about the podcast is you've just won a massive piece of business. Are you able to share and go into a bit more detail about that?
Absolutely. So after the pandemic kind of things and Brexit, which have all been hugely challenging, we kind of were putting our focus as a brand into North America. So we were really focused on going to North America. We went to New York in the spring, and all our kind of marketing and our strategy and everything was all focused there. And out of the blue, one of our distilleries contacted us and said, our importer is in Europe is really interested in getting some of your products. Do you mind if we just put you in touch direct? And I went, no problem. So this importer, who is a massive spirits importer, was really interested in our products. But because of Brexit and some of the additional hassles at the moment of trying to get stuff in and out, we had discussions, and then all of a sudden they just said, you know, would you be up for going into Asia? And I said, well, it's not on our hit list, and it never really has been because it is so massive. Could we cope? And they said, well, let's see. So they then put us in touch with their importer in Asia, who immediately just said, yeah, we want the products and we want them for Q4, so Q3. So we were just like, okay, we're going to have to work this out. So completely unexpected, we had to change tack. America, although has been really successful the first part of this year, we had to basically kind of put on the sidelines and put all our efforts and research and everything into China, Asia, Hong Kong, Singapore, looking at all these areas and how we were going to fit in with them. So it's hugely unexpected, amazingly all now signed, sealed and done. So yeah, so for the next 3 years, yeah, hopefully our products are going to be eking their way on shelves into pretty much duty-free, actually.
Right.
And yeah, so duty-free alongside with the whiskey brands that they already import, which is lovely. So
Amazing.
to be sat beside them as well, our products beside them is hugely, it's a bit of a seal of approval, really. So
it is, because the whiskey market in Asia is massive, isn't it?
Yeah, huge and growing, and also the domestic Chinese market at the moment is growing, just purely because they are kind of in lockdown and can't go anywhere and things. So the domestic market there is booming as well. So so they are kind of it is certainly wasn't really in our growth strategy for the business, but has unexpectedly landed on us. So we are just grabbing it with both hands and hanging on for dear life. So
I didn't realize China was still in lockdown.
Well, I think some areas are still quite heavily policed, or however it works. So their domestic market, their duty free internally as well, is quite big.
Right. Amazing. That's amazing. So how are you scaling up production in Scotland? How are you managing that?
Yeah, so we are, our subcontractor glassblowers are exceedingly happy.
I bet they are. Woohoo!
So they are, we are just upscaling what we can. We've just taken on a Chinese intern so that they can help with certainly translation, but mostly our shipping documentation and stuff like that, and customs and things, to make sure that we don't have any delays in getting stuff out there. Our first shipment's due to go on the 15th of October. So so we're getting everything kind of palletized and sorted out. So it's all, but it's like a big learning curve, because it's a whole different market, culturally so different. But massive. So so we're just heading towards that and just making sure that we approach it the way we have done with all our other markets as well. So
nice. Many congratulations on that. So now, where do you find budding glassblowers?
Now, if you know any, let me know.
I know.
So they're a bit of a find. Generally, there is a kind of training scheme. So Glasgow City College actually runs a glass art diploma that they do. So there is an entry level where people can go in and start to study glass, all different aspects of glassware. So you've got different types. Ours is called lamp working, which is flame working, which we don't use huge furnaces. We just use on the bench, and we have torches and everything's formed from tubing and rod, preformed. So the skill itself, pretty much all of our glass blowers that we use have had some connection or some training from my dad in some shape or form. Our in-house glass blowers also are trained directly from my dad. But yes, it is a very precise skill. It's about a 4-year apprenticeship if you were doing it. So and trying to hold on to glass blowers has been quite a challenge as well, because some of our glass blowers we had in the beginning have now moved on and either started their own little businesses or whatever as well. So we've also had to consider, obviously, in the scale-up process, is just how much we can make. So there are elements of component parts that we have had to outsource out, even possibly out with Scotland, some of it. So so there are some elements where we just can't make that volume in that short space of time. So we've had to look at that. And I think that's part of all small businesses, when everything is, so authentic and secure. But as soon as you start to grow, then you have to start looking out with the box a little bit. So so we have had to do that. But it's all seems to be going to plan at the moment.
I'm really glad, whilst you're growing, but whilst keeping that, what keeps the glass unique and special and artisan. It's a real challenge. I've got another client at the moment who are in paint, very, very specialist paint. So I won't go into detail, but they're exactly about the same age as you. Dad started it, found they've got this niche. They had a massive contract in the Middle East they had to fulfill. There's only 8 of them. Everything's handmade. I mean, it's a really lovely place to be, and it presents a huge set of challenges. The daughter's now running it as well. I mean, it's so familiar. It really is.
Yeah.
So okay, and this is what I'm interested in. Does your dad just leave you to get on with it, or does he just can't help interfering?
Well, it does. We're very yin and yang. So I'm a complete risk taker.
Okay.
I'm the one that says, oh, we should try this or we should try that. And I do tend to go with my gut and just go with things, whereas he is very much more reserved and will assess and look at the pros and the cons. And so, yeah, so we're very good. We kind of work well together. He doesn't really do much of the production now.
Right.
He's 84.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So he's still very much involved in the business, but more on we call him the chairman now. So, yeah. So he pretty much does a lot of consulting. So there are things that we get asked to make a lot of that are completely bespoke or unique for certain companies because they can't get them made anywhere else. And so he will consult on what needs to get done, and then we'll take it to our other glassblowers to make. So he's here and he comes in when he needs to be speaking to people or whatever, but generally he's pretty much retired now. He has come out of retirement 3 times in his life, so he just can't help himself. But it's in his lifeblood that what he does, his glassblowing is what he does, and it keeps him active and keeps his mind. Yeah,
it's great. It's really good. And we were just before we came on, you said your son's about to go to university. Will he step into the family business, do you think?
I've got 2 sons. So my eldest son is going off to university. No, he's a bit of a prodigy, and he is really into computing and wants to make big waves in computing science.
Brilliant.
So yeah, I'm letting him go and fly and do what he needs to do. He's very good at helping. So he's really good at website stuff and apps and things like that. So he's very good at helping if something crashes or needs fixed. So and he's always around. My other son, though, he comes in quite a lot to help pack and help with the production side of things, not so much glass blowing. So if anyone is going to join us and have a generational contingency, then it's going to probably be my younger son. But at the moment he's still 15, so he still really doesn't know what he wants to do. Yeah. But we would love to have, we would love to have some sort of generational contingency, but sometimes that's just not possible.
No, it's not possible. It's nice because we've got some great family-run businesses in Scotland and the rest of the UK, and in fact the world. I mean, some of the world's biggest businesses are family-run, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's nice if you can do it, but it's not always possible.
Yeah, and my husband's in the business as well, so he has his own business, but he comes in and helps operationally and different things, fixes a lot of things, tends to be our fix-it man. So any equipment or things that need done, then he services and fixes them as well. So yeah, so there's me, my dad, my husband, the boys come in. My best friend has been with us with the company for 8 years, so since almost we began, since we had an ironing board as a desk for her. So so she knows the business not only inside out, but she knows me inside out, so she knows how I react to things as well. So she's brilliant. So our team is really brilliant as well. I've got a fantastic team that will carry everything off. So
that's fantastic that you're able to do it. I could not work with my best friend. I think we'd just mess about too much, to be honest. We just wouldn't get any work done. We'd just be chatting and having gin and tonic at 11 in the morning.
Well, we do sometimes have a meeting that goes then on to families and kids and what have you, and we end up going, oh right, we better get back to work. So that does tend to happen, but but it's quite nice.
It's quite nice. Now you've won various awards, which is fantastic. And the growth has clearly taken you by surprise in a really nice way. I think that's fabulous. I think that's often when you see a business going, oh, we've just got this thing and it's quite small, but other people go, no, it's amazing, we want more of it. I think that's lovely. What are the plans? Obviously you're tackling Asia. Anything else on the horizon?
Yeah, so actually we've tiptoed into Japan at the same time.
Okay.
So I have to thank SDI and Scottish Enterprise just purely for the support they give us as well as a small business, and putting us in front of these markets. You know, Japan again was on our radar at some point. But yeah, so we have got stuff out there. It's being showcased at the moment, so we'll see what happens with that. Plans for the future, we're looking at, you know, just continuing to create, you know, products that people want is really the main thing. I never thought I would ever say it, but kind of looking at a bit of an exit strategy or an exit plan at some point. Coming up to 10 years, and then looking at succession, or what, you know, what's going to happen, employees getting involved or whatever. So there are options out there that we need to maybe start thinking about in terms of longevity for the company. So that's all kind of in the planning, and I've got a good board of non-exec directors who challenge me and also are really helpful in terms of things that are, you know, when you're kind of here on your own, sometimes it's a bit, decision making needs to be involving other people. So that's nice as well.
Yeah, that's good. What did you do before this?
So, oh gosh, I've had many jobs.
Right.
So my background is kind of retail. So I was a travel agent when I left school. So I was in travel retail. And then I went and started my own little shop. So I had a little gift shop, so I knew how to run a shop. I helped my mum and dad in their business, so they had their glass blowing business, which you know, dealt with quite a lot of big distilleries and things like that as well. So I was aware, and I was, you know, I had an understanding of how things worked. And then I worked for the university. I was operations manager at Stirling University. So and then obviously family and having time off for kids and things like that. So that's my kind of background, but retail and selling stuff I'm quite passionate about as well. So
yeah, nice mix of backgrounds. I often think, you know, for a family business, it's really important to go away and do something else and then come to the family business. And often the family businesses that I've come across, they'll make the family members go away, go and work for somebody else, and then come back with your experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's my dad did that with me. He certainly was like, no, you probably will make more money and have a better time not working for me. And so that's kind of what happened. And then I've just levitated back to where we're at now. So it's it's been great. I've had a great career.
I know. It's wonderful. So this is one question I always ask business owners. If your business had a personality or a character, how would you describe it?
Feisty. That's a good one. Feisty trendsetter.
Oh, that's a feisty trendsetter. Do you know the image I've got in my head now is Vivienne Westwood?
Oh, great.
She's the feisty
Saturn now.
Yeah, that's the image. I really like that. That's cool. And what's your favourite whiskey?
Oh, I have many favourite whiskies.
Right. Okay.
So I've been really lucky because I run a whiskey festival as well. So I have I run
just in your spare time that
Fife Whisky Festival I run with them. I'm another business partner, and I do some judging. In fact, tomorrow I'm off to Edinburgh to do the Scottish Whisky Awards judging for their business panel. So, but my favourite whiskey is probably one of the first ones I ever tasted and loved, which was Aberlour. So an Aberlour Buna, which is a beautiful sherried whiskey. So it is one of my favourites. But there's no whiskey I really dislike. I'm not into heavily peated whiskies, but pretty much any whiskey I wouldn't really turn my nose up at it.
I've not tried an Aberlour. I've tried quite a few
distillery.
I've not tried it at all. A few that have come from sherry casks, which is really nice. But yeah, my favorite's the Lagavulin 16-year-old.
Oh yeah, the Lagavulin, that's about as peaty as I can take.
Yeah, I really like the peaty ones. My husband thinks the really peaty ones taste like TCP.
Yeah.
But they're my favorite. My apps, they're just, for me, they are the epitome of a comfy chair by an open fire in the winter with a good book.
A big tumbler.
Yeah. Well, one of your glasses, actually.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's exactly how you want to be imagining sitting. Although I do quite like a whiskey in a hip flask, so it's quite nice as well if you're up a mountain or out for a walk.
Yeah, nice. So tell me about the Whisky Festival.
Yeah, so it's now in its 5th year. So we run that in Fife, Cooper in Fife in March. So we had obviously 1 year out because of COVID, and we moved it online, which we were able to do, which was great. But yeah, so it's held in the Corn Exchange in Cooper. We have an opening dinner on the Friday, which is at Lindores Abbey. We have 2 sessions of the festival on the Saturday, and then we have some exclusive whisky distillery visits in Fife on the Sunday. So we kind of make it like a weekend festival, so we get a lot of people travel for the full weekend. And then so it's quite exciting, and it's always a bit of a rush in February when we're trying to organise everything. But myself and my business partner Justine, so she runs whisky tours and things like that. So the 2 of us are pretty well organised females, so we tend to have everything coordinated, and we're quite good at a spreadsheet and stuff like that. So
I like that. I'll check that out. Can anybody go to the
it's just so so tickets went on sale at the weekend, but pretty much sold out. I think there's only a handful of tickets left. So it's pretty special, and we normally have a festival bottling that's pretty desirable for whiskey collectors and things like that. So so it's as I say, it'll be in its 5th year this year, and then going into 6th year in 2023. So,
and how do you get to be a whiskey taster? Where do I apply?
Oh well, I think I just got asked. I mean, I do Spirit Speyside Whisky Awards, so I think they kind of swap it around every couple of years, and I just got asked, and I said absolutely, if I can come and taste whiskey and give you some feedback on it, delightful. So so do that, and then the Scottish Whisky Awards, which is held in November, I do the business side, so I'll read all the business applications rather than the tasting side. So I look at either the brand excellence or the packaging or stuff like that. So it's quite nice as well. It's quite it's quite nice.
And the whiskey taste, I'm obviously intrigued by the whiskey tasting. Do you have to spit it out?
Well, you kind of do, but even though you do, you still end up a bit tipsy at the end. Sometimes you could be tasting 40 or 50 whiskies. So you kind of start off being all spitting it out, and then you'll have a conversation with the person next to you, and you've just realised you've just swallowed the whole glass. So so there's a little bit of that. But it's all fun. It's all good fun, and all good for the industry as well. And it's nice to have a bit of a diverse judging panel as well, and not just have whiskey people as such that are doing it. So it's quite nice.
Good. Okay, so finally, last question is, if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing instead?
This is totally the opposite. I would love to have a bit of land and have a caravan and camping site. Totally left field, totally not. I always said that, I'd love to buy a bit of land and turn it into a nice, buy a loch somewhere or at the sea or somewhere like that, and have a nice caravan site.
That is not what I expected you to say.
No, I know, everyone goes, what? And I go, I know, but I've got a caravan, we're touring caravan, and I like going, I do like going off and going around Scotland and other places with it. So I don't know whether that's maybe my retirement plan.
Could be. Last week I interviewed Cheryl Newman of Business, and she's just got a caravan. So we spent quite a while talking about caravans. Now you want to buy a caravan site, and you, well, maybe if you didn't do this, but that's fab. I love that. I think the universe is telling me to get a caravan.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, you have to. Yeah. I never thought we would, we would have it. We always did camping with the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
But when we got the caravan, we were just like, oh, this is great. We were everywhere. And because I live in Stirling, which is not that close to the coast or whatever, I love going to the seaside or I love Loch Lomond and going up to the loch and stuff like that.
Nice.
So
Yeah. Favourite camping caravan site?
Oh, Loch Lomond, Ardlui at the top near Crianlara. Yeah, that's my favourite. That's my happy place, as they say.
Oh, that's so nice. And what a lovely place to finish on. Thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate it, because I know how insanely busy you are, particularly this week. So
not at all. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. And best of luck in Asia.
Thank you very much.